Alright, so we got our Dodge here. So the issue isn't foam on this one. No foam, but it is double paneled. And this is a lot of the reason why a lap joint or flange weld will fail. Same principle. If you're in a high moisture area, you see how there's a panel directly behind this panel. What happens is all that moisture wicks down and it gets trapped right here in between the two panels. And now this is rusting from the inside out, so there's not a whole lot you can do to that unless you cut a whole outer panel and then attack the inner wheelhouse. So that's what we got. It didn't look that bad when we saw it the other day, but that's what it is today. So we ground it out. We knocked some holes down in there. You know, if you're gonna fill and cave and pave it, you need to make sure that you knock the rust area down a little bit so you have enough Duraglass to hold out on the repair. If you get a real thin section over an area like this, it's going to come right back on you. So this is never the right way to repair it. Obviously, you know, new bedside would be the best way for this truck, but or cut it out and attack that rust in there and all that stuff, but that's not what this guy wants. So like I say, you're only as good as the customer allows you to be, and you know, they 90% of the time dictate the repair you're going to do. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put a little Duraglass in that spot. Same with the tailgate, you know, ground it down. I'm not going to knock holes through this. I'm just going to leave it like this, skim coat it. Guy knows it's coming back. We're going to pull this down out with a stud gun. The other side's the same exact way, you know. Well, it didn't look real bad, but the metal's just like aluminum foil because it's attacking it from the back side. So if you cut this panel off, all this would be rusted in here, probably up to about here. You know, everywhere that water's wicked down and attacked the metal. They used to dip these. They still do dip. Some manufacturers actually dip the body completely and submerge it. Most of the cars that get dipped nowadays are the foreign car lines, Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche. They like to completely submerge the car into a epoxy bath, and that does prolong stuff like this, you know. At least when you get moisture in the panels, it's dripping down on a painted surface. But a lot of these new cars are actually bare steel on the back of the panel. So this is why we get the rust. This is an 03. So car's what, 10 years old now. So you know, I guess it's not too bad, but this, you know, it's not in a real harsh climate. So this truck up north would probably be pretty much gone, you know, from the rust. So no corrosion protection from the factory, guys. That's the problem with today's cars, you know. They give you just enough for that warranty and that's it. So I was looking at the Porsche Club of America, just did not too long ago on YouTube, did a 911. They took a 73 911 and sent it back to Stuttgart, and Porsche will actually restore your vehicle for you if you have the money. They actually have a workshop where they, a lot of the guys that used to be on the assembly lines when they were making the older cars are now working at this place. And they go through and restore everything. Gauges, transmission, motor, body. And they have NOS panels in stock. And they'll weld panels on with whatever they have. Replace doors, fenders. It's bare metal up restoration. But the thing that sets them apart from most other shops is when they get all the body work done on the cars and they get everything done and all their panels welded in and all their metal fitting, they run the car over to the Porsche factory and they dip it in one of the vats of EDP, and gives an electric plating on the car and protects it from the inside out. So I think one of those restorations is almost $100,000 is what I saw. But I saw where one just sold at auction for $300,000. So one car that they had actually done over there. So pretty cool. the one thing we don't want our projects to do is rust when we go through all this. Yeah, we're just going to pull this dent out. We don't want to Bondo the crap out of it. Yeah, we're already going to fill it with fiberglass. But rust repair is that way, you know, either you do it the right way or you do it this way. And some people just don't want to fix the car proper, so. That's why it's buyer beware. You guys always take the magnet with you and check the rust areas before you buy a car, you know? Or take somebody that does it for a living and have them look at it. Body man can always tell if something's been repaired 90% of the time, or a good mechanic, you know, somebody that looks at cars all the time. They can spot the out of the ordinary usually. Anyway, Neil, you gonna turn the camera on and make a video for us, buddy? I see you're watching my channel again. I like that. I like to see a video. I know the longer you don't push the record button, the harder it is to push it. Anybody ever notice that? So there we go. I think that's pretty sufficient. We give that a thin wipe there. Cut those off now and grind it down. I don't have my cutters, so we'll do the vice grip method. Gotta grab them down low, you know. And you just give it a little twist, and usually they'll pop right off, like so. Less grinding this way, takes a little more time though, you know. So. Why do you get one like that? I think we could probably put one more pin. We'll just leave it. We got our line pretty good. We'll hit that with a grinder. So for God's sakes, don't forget your safety glasses. You don't want to put an eye out, you know. Do a little trick on that so we can get a little more of that dent out. This little trick to be brought to you by McDonald's because it works. Heat the panel there and pull it up with a piece of ice. Anybody ever do that? Pulls the dent right up. There we go, not much left now. We'll leave it there and go to the next step. Wipe the dust and clean my panel up so I'm not getting a bunch of crap in my repair area. Alrighty then, switch back here, set up for the next step that I like to do. Get some gloves on, glove up here. It's a good time to glove up. Time you use chemicals or Bondo or any of these hardeners or anything, gloves are a good idea if you got them. If you don't got them, then you know, you'll have to pay the price later. Because it's like the old Fram commercials, you know, you can pay me now or pay me later. And I do think this stuff catches up with you eventually. you know. So, all right. So next we're gonna just get some simple thinner, and with the complicated lid, everything's harder with gloves. I know that. For me, you lose that touch. Anyway, we've ground our area down. We knocked it, the rust out. We blew it out with some air. We feathered it back with some 80 grit. Now we're going to take some thinner and we're going to wipe our repair area. And, apply our thinner, our filler, and wipe that down. The wheel opening is a real important spot, you know. Wipe it. Make sure you get all the contaminants off your repair area. And I'm just going to wipe this real quick off camera. But if you go ahead and wipe that down, you'll see that your Bondo will feather out much better. A lot of times you'll get contamination between the paint edge and the Bondo where you have to feather it out and it'll roll off the panel instead of feathering. And sometimes that's what it could be caused by. Grime, road dirt, stuff like that. So next, let's go to some filler. We're going to use some Duraglass. We learned a little bit about fillers, I guess, if some of you guys watched that video on vwdarrin. Thought it was pretty good. We talked about different types of fillers that are waterproof, different types of resins and fillers, what the hardeners are made out of. So we know on this repair that we have a water condition, that we have water that's going to get to the back of this repair. So we're going to go ahead and use Duraglass, short strand fiberglass. The brand could be different depending on where you get it from. Let's get some of this opened up and onto our board here. You want to make sure you stir this stuff up good, because if you don't, you end up getting to the bottom of your can and it's all hard. So anyway, stir it up in the can good, and put some on the board there. You know, this is the kind of filler you want to use if you're going to do a repair that's going to get water to the back of it, or if you want something with a little more strength. You know, if you're going to stack a repair up. Bondo's not a good thing to put on real thick. It will fail. You know, you can only deal with being so thick. Where Duraglass has a little more structure to it, and it'll tolerate being stacked on a little thicker. And if you watch that video, you learn that there's Kevlar enforced Bondo, like if you want to tap an area or do something like that. So it's really on what you want to spend on Bondo, and picking the right stuff can really make the repair hold out much longer. So I never like to scrimp on the Bondo. It just doesn't pay off. It's the first thing you're putting down, so you might as well spend the money on that. You're better off buying cheaper materials and getting good primer, good epoxy, and good fillers, because that's going to be the bones of the repair. So we want to make sure this is mixed up thoroughly, you know. You don't want to have a spot that's not have hardener introduced into it. Make sure you wipe your stick off with some pressure and then pull that back in. This stuff darkens up when you get the hardener introduced to it. If it's missing the hardener, it'll be a lighter color. Alright, so let's apply this filler here. This is just going to be a pack coat. We'll lay this stuff in, and then we'll come back with some regular body filler over the top of this. again, you know, if you're doing your 1969 Roadrunner or your muscle card, you're not going to do a repair this way. There's a place and time for every kind of repair. You got to remember that. You know, don't look down on somebody because they're doing a repair like this, because there's a market for this, believe it or not, guys. I mean, you know, not everybody's going to pay you to do a Concord restoration on their project. Some guys just want their car painted. Some guys just want it to look a little better, you know. And that's what we do, you know. You got to fill the market, because if you don't, somebody else will. I mean, you know, it's out there. It's a fact of life. There we go. Got a little sloppy with that. We'll have to deal with that. Sorry about the shaky cam there, guys. So there we go. And you want to put this on with some pressure, you know. Whoops. Better do this side left-handed so you guys can see the camera there. But anyway, like I said, you want to, you know, push it into your repair area. Get it in there. And you're going to grind most of this off anyway. And we'll come back and skim it with the filler. So, the tighter you apply the pressure, the less air bubbles you'll have and less imperfection and voids. So. So there we go, that's that. We'll let that harden up, and then the next step will be the Bondo. So Chris, I don't think this is the type of repair you want to do to your truck, buddy. I think you know what you have to do. A lot of you guys have been watching for a while, and you guys know how to do the repair proper. And you know the difference between a used car repair and something that you're going to keep. So this is the way you can get by. If you bought a truck like this and you weren't a metal man and you didn't want to cut your truck all apart and you just wanted to do a temporary make it look a little better type of deal, you know, this is what you'd be doing. And that's why I do some of these videos like this. Some guys don't like this kind, and they've got all kinds of choice words for this kind of work, hack job, whatever. But sometimes doing nothing is worse than doing a hack job, because these jobs will put a little bit of food on the table, you know what I mean? And you could be hard-headed and say, hey, I only want to fix it one way, or I'm not going to do it. But then you're not eating. So anyway, that's a little bit of that. Setting my spreader down there. Sorry about the shaky. I'll go ahead and shut this off, keep it under 20 minutes. We'll try to turn it on when we get to the next couple steps, or the finishing step anyway. So we'll show you the priming process. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and there you go, a little rust repair on the old Dodge Ram.